present choices to be made. The Hebrew grammar and the translation in the last verse of this section ends with me'od. Me'od literally means good, good. When a word is repeated, it's for emphasis. In Hebrew, they don't have good, better, best. They'll repeat the word. And it's translated as outstandingly good. The huge cluster of grapes the spies brought back were symbolic of great things to come. And in several passages in the Tanakh, God compares Israel to a vineyard. Vineyards and grapevines are frequently mentioned in the Bible, often symbolizing the people of Israel and their relationship with God. In this sense, grapes served as a powerful reminder of God's nurturing presence and guidance in the lives of believers. In Isaiah 5, 1-7, the prophet likens the people of Israel to a vineyard planted by God. The expectation is that the vineyard will produce good grapes, but instead it yields wild grapes. This is a metaphor for the disobedience and unfaithfulness of the people in that section. The evidence was right in front of them. They had seen the land with their own eyes. It was flowing with milk and honey. The fruit was super abundant, and it was theirs for the taking. Caleb testified vehemently that the land was indeed good, outstandingly good. But despite all their compelling testimony, the people chose to believe the 10 spies rather than trust God. They had seen God deliver them from their oppressors in Egypt, provide food in the desert, and water out of a rock. Yet these 10 spies discouraged the heart of the people of Israel from going into the land that God had given them. They chose to rely on what they saw, and the whole nation paid for it for 40 years. Now, fast forward 40 years. Joshua is now leading the people and chose 2 spies to check out the city of Jericho. He must have been thinking, deja vu, I've got to send spies out. He said no doubt he prayed long and hard about who he selected to do the job. And so this was a second chance to trust God. Contrary to what the unbelieving Israelites thought, the fear of God was on the people of the land. The reports of what God had done were widely reported and widely known in Canaan. Rahab said, I know Adonai has given you the land. Fear of you has fallen on us. Everyone in the land is terrified at the thought, not just the thought of you. We've heard how Adonai dried up the water in the Sea of Suf ahead of you when you left Egypt, and what you did to the 2 kings at Memoriah on the other side of the Jordan, Sihon and Og, that you completely destroyed them. As soon as we heard it, our hearts failed us. Because of you, everyone is in a state of depression. For Adonai, your God, he is God in heaven and on the earth below. The Canaanite pagans saw the power of God and believed, whereas those who had witnessed the miracles firsthand would not trust their God to deliver the land to them. Rahab chose to believe the spies and cooperated with them. She received the assurance that she and her family would be spared if she carried out her end of the bargain. Both sides needed to trust the other in this matter, and a scarlet cord would be the sign. Over the course of the next week or so, Rahab kept her secret and waited. Because of her faithfulness, she was included in the Messianic line and was the great-great-grandmother of King David. This time the spies were faithful and said, truly, Adonai has handed over the land to us. They told Joshua, everyone in the land is terrified that we're coming. In the New Covenant reading, try to put yourself in the disciples' shoes. They were simple fishermen for the most part, not particularly well educated, but dedicated to the new leader, Yeshua. Now he tells them he's given them the authority to heal the sick, raise the dead, cleanse the lepers, and proclaim the soon coming of the kingdom of heaven. Say what? They may have thought, seriously, what did I get myself into? Nevertheless, they chose to take him at his word, and following their instructions, they served as emissaries to Israel and prepared the people to hear Messiah's message. What's our response to God when we find ourselves in situations where we have a choice to make? Do we believe God or the circumstances? Shabbat Shalom.